Hey everyone, this is Tom with the Traders Guild. I wanted to do just a quick video on XRP, otherwise known as Ripple. Um, wanted just to briefly chat about some of the crypto space, some of the things that I have learned, some of the things that I guess I wish I would have done differently. Not too many, but let's dive right in. So I've got the ticker XRP pulled up. This is the daily chart. And as you can see, from this goes all the way back to what is that? Last April, last March. XRP has been in a persistent downtrend. It has not been bullish. Now, I really started trading crypto space this year. This was actually the first ticker that I began trading, and there's really dozens. There's actually thousands of coins to trade. There's only a handful that have a pretty significant market cap. So obviously there's the Bitcoins, there's the XRPs, there's the Ethereum, there's the Links, there's Zcash and all the others. If you pull up anything on the web, you can quickly kind of shake out the ones that are the most traded crypto coins versus the ones that aren't, or the ones that are actually up and coming. So I got into XRP because I had heard a lot of rumors about XRP becoming this end all be all coin when the dollar crashes and the end of the world happens. And I think one of the things that I can tell you just first and foremost is it's that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Um, One of the things that I've seen in the crypto space, specifically with XRP, is the unbelievable amount of tribalism. Uh, in other words, the people who are XRP holders, the people who have been buying and buying and accumulating more and more XRP coins over the last 3 years or so, are just die-hard XRP fans. Like, they cannot be changed in what they think about XRP. They're not open to any other information. They're not open to any other idea other than that XRP is going to, quote, go to the moon, unquote. If you pull up XRP on Twitter or any other place, it's just tweet after tweet, post after post, pumping XRP. So there's that. That's one of the things that I was concerned with as I began to research more and more, because I really uh, do try my hardest to research things as I find out new information. If I find out information that's conflicting or it's not cooperating with other information, then I'm like, that doesn't seem right. So I tend to dig further and deeper. So that was one of the things that I was kind of learning, and it's cheap. One of the things I think that people are attracted to about XRP is because it is so cheap. It trades at 17 cents per coin. And of course, if you can't forget what Bitcoin did, I think it was a couple of years back, it went from essentially, a couple $100 to a couple of $1,000 to, $24,000 in a very short period of time. I think a lot of the XRP holders think that that's what's going to happen to this coin. Well, there's a couple of things that you need to know about XRP, all right? And I'll kind of just cover those briefly. First and foremost, XRP is not a coin that is mined. There is a fixed amount of XRP that is available. And if I remember correctly, I want to say it was 100 billion coins, half of which are still sitting in a trust, the other half that have been distributed amongst the Ripple holders. And this is the other part that gets a little bit murky. So people tend to use XRP and Ripple in that kind of that same synonymous way, like they're the same thing. They're actually not the same. XRP is a crypto coin. Ripple Labs, or Ripple Investors, is the company that's the most heavily invested in the XRP coin. So this begs the question. This gets real complicated. So there's actually a number of lawsuits that are pending. The CEO of Ripple Labs, Brad Garlinghouse, the company is facing lawsuits because people are alleging that Brad and his company have defrauded investors. The lawsuits allege that XRP coin is actually, in fact, a security. They're essentially saying that XRP is the stock, and so in other words, of the company Ripple Labs. Ripple Labs says that's not the case. Well, if XRP is in fact a security, that causes some really big bad things to happen for Ripple. The lawsuits are still pending. I don't really know which way it's going to go. I don't really care, honestly. It's not really here or there. They could be locked up in the court system for a long, long time. But that's just something that you should be aware of. If you haven't yet invested in XRP, maybe you've heard about it, you need to know that XRP is got some issues. The company Ripple is facing multiple lawsuits from people who used to hold XRP. I think actually some former XRP employees who left, if I remember right. But that's murky, and it's hard to find information, accurate information. So XRP again, so it's very cheap. Obviously, 17 cents trading. This is the current chart, daily chart. It's not mined. Okay, so there's a fixed number of coins. There's 50 billion held in. I think it's a trust. I don't know. It's through some bank that's locked up, and then the remaining coins are being released in periods. And of course, you've also got a lot of the higher, I guess, board members or founders from Ripple who hold the vast majority of the actual coins. The rest of it's being released into the public. So because the coin isn't mine, this is one of the things that people do like about XRP. I actually do like this fact. XRP, unlike Bitcoin, does not require energy to mine. I mean, all of you guys who have tried mining or who know how mining works, essentially you have to use your computer to kind of become part of the blockchain, and as your computer is processing, helping to process this blockchain data that's coming in, all the hashes that are being created, you get paid a small tiny percentage or small piece of that Bitcoin. And same thing with other coins. Well, because XRP doesn't have a mining system, all the coins are already there. There's no wasted energy. So I guess if you want to look at it in terms of it's a green company, or it's not causing any undue hardship on expensive electricity. Because essentially what you've got with Bitcoin farms is you've got these big farms. China owns a big chunk of them, and they park up out in the middle of nowhere, the desert or some state that has the cheapest electricity rates, and they're just mining nonstop. Obviously, mining is not cheap, and they've managed to keep their costs low because they've kind of got into the game very quickly and very soon, years and years ago. But it's really no longer, from my understanding, unless you have a really elaborate setup, it's just not profitable to mine Bitcoin. I mean, the costs to mine it don't break even, especially since the halving of Bitcoin and some others. So XRP is kind of cool in that way. The other thing that people like about XRP is what's called this remittance payment. And then again, I'm not claiming to be some expert. All right, this is just basically the information that I've learned, the best of my ability, pulling it out of my memory banks here. So XRP is basically able to do cross-border payments within a matter of seconds. So let's say that I have a family over in, I don't know, let's say France or Germany or Mexico or Sweden or China, and you wanted to be able to send a payment over to them, you'd have to go through, use some other bank, which can take days, weeks, cost a lot of money. You could use, I think, Western Union, MoneyGram, other international money transfer, things like that. But again, it takes time, it takes money. What's cool about XRP, however, though, is it's almost instantaneous. It doesn't cost anything. I think it uses up a tiny fraction of XRP is destroyed. It's something like 1 millionth of an XRP is incinerated upon that transaction. So if the other person has an XRP, I'm sorry, has a crypto account, you can transact, you know, effortlessly, you know, to your friends, to your family using this coin. It's cheap, it's fast, and it's very effective. So that's really, from what I can kind of glean from all the reasons why XRP might be a really cool thing, is because of those reasons. Unlike Bitcoin, Bitcoin is actually quite slow. It can take upwards of hours to send a transaction over to somebody else. So XRP obviously is much quicker. Um, so that being said, XRP is in a downtrend. It's been trending downwards ever since the halving. That was that was in, was that April? I think it popped up right around the $22 mark. That's where I sold mine, and I just didn't like the chart from the technical aspect. I just didn't like what I was seeing, and you know, this downtrend here, I think, you know, we're setting up to retest these lows. Just the way that it's been trending. I mean, that's what I see. Obviously, anything can happen. We could get news that something happens and then sends Bitcoin and all the others up higher. Another issue, if you're thinking about getting into the crypto space or XRP, something that has been frustrating for myself that I have noticed is that the cryptos have not decoupled themselves from the overall markets. So when the markets are going up, they tend to be going up. When the markets are going down, they tend to be going down. You would like to see, in an ideal world, that the cryptos are continually bullish, because obviously, if the markets are crashing and the dollar's crashing and, you know, the end of the world's happening, cryptos, right, should be the place to put your money. Those should be either staying put and, you know, and staying at the same level or increasing in value. I haven't really seen that. Again, I haven't been trading this for a long time, and really nobody can say that we've ever experienced this. And nobody has ever traded cryptos in this type of market environment where we've got extreme volatility. This is all new. So it's anyone's guess as to how the cryptos are going to respond to this. So is it a safe haven asset? I think it can be. I think it's something that you can consider like gold. But I guess the big takeaways from what I've already mentioned, just to wrap the video up, don't think that buying XRP is going to go to the moon. Don't expect for any reason that XRP is going to go from 17 or 18 cents a coin to 5, 10, 100, 1,000, $10,000 a coin. That's just ridiculous. Honestly, and this is just my gut feeling, tells me that I'm not feeling like XRP is the coin to be in. If you look at XRP overall, its return is actually pretty low relative to the other cryptos in the space. Link, Link, is a really strong one. There's a couple others. If you go to any forum, you just go Google it, go check it out, and go look at the returns from, you know, the last year's returns of the cryptos, and go find the top. XRP is way down there. I don't want to think this, but there's a strong possibility that, you know, there could be some fishy stuff going on with the CEO, with Brad and his other cohorts, who have basically defrauded a bunch of people out of their money. And he's claiming that this coin is not a security, when in fact it isn't. This is a security. It's just a clever way for them to finance their business, because they finance their business through this coin. Keep that in mind. Ripple Labs releases coin, and they pay other companies via coin, and they're financing their venture through this coin. So it just seems to me like too much of a conflict of interest. It feels like something's off. I can't quite put my finger on it. And then that, of course, with just the ridiculous bullish tribalism. I mean, people they've like lost their minds. I mean, they all think XRP is like the best thing that's ever existed, and they really can't see anything other than what they believe. So with that said, keep those thoughts in mind. Hope this video was helpful for you. Share, subscribe, like the video. Help us get this word out. And if you liked it, please let us know. All right, guys, talk to you later.